Call this public hearing to order. And as advertised, the purpose of this public hearing is to hear input on amendments to the District of Hope zoning bylaw number 1324, 2012. And they are as follows: District of Hope zoning amendment bylaw 1437, 2018, and District of Hope zoning bylaw number 1438, 2018. And so many of you that have been to, do I have to memorize the chairperson's statement? Did I have a copy in my package? Awesome. Because I don't have it down word for word yet. It's a long-winded, ridiculous, mandated statement. So, thank you. Those of you that have been to public hearings before will recognize this is a statement that we have to read at the start of a public hearing, so I'll just breeze through that, and then we can get the issue introduced by Mr. Gill, and then there'll be plenty of opportunity for everyone to say their piece if they so wish. This public hearing is being convened pursuant to the Community Charter and the Local Government Act. In accordance with the Charter, the time and place of the public hearing was advertised in 2 editions of the Hope Standard newspaper. In accordance with the District of Hope application procedure and public hearing information meeting procedural bylaw number 1393 and the Local Government Act, required specifications have been complied with. At this public hearing, any persons who believe that their interest in the subject property is affected by the proposed agenda item may speak or present written submissions to council on this matter. As chairperson, I will read any written briefs from persons unable to attend the public hearing so that they may become part of the record. Those who wish to speak should, when invited to speak, clearly state their name and address for the record. It is important that all who speak at this meeting restrict their remarks to the matters contained in the bylaws. No one will be or should feel discouraged or prevented from making his or her views known. Members of council may ask questions of those making presentations. The main function of council at the public hearing is to listen to the comments of the public, not to debate the merits of the bylaws. Members of council may debate any issues on the bylaws at the time of third or final reading. The order of proceedings will be as follows. 1, Director of Community Development, Mr. Jazz Gill, will briefly describe the matters under consideration and provide a brief explanation of the proposed bylaws. 2, the applicant or agent for the applicant may be invited to comment. 3, all written submissions will form part of the record of the public hearing. 4, oral submissions from the public will be heard, and any further written submissions, if any, will be received. And then, of course, the public hearing will be closed. It's important to note that no further submissions, either verbal or written, regarding the proposed bylaws can be made to council following the public hearing. After this public hearing has concluded, the council may, without further notice, give whatever effect it believes proper to the representations made at this public hearing. And if we can call upon Mr. Gill to introduce this, and this is pertaining to 442 Hemlock Avenue.
Your worship, through you, the applicant would like to rezone the property in order to permit a secondary dwelling. The rezoning itself is supported by the official community plan, and therefore it's just a straight rezoning and no OCP amendment. The proposal does meet the competencies of the use regulations for secondary dwellings within the zoning bylaw.
Okay. And is the proponent in attendance today?
Through you, your worship, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a submission. Hello? Would you like to say something about this?
I'm not really sure what I should say. We're looking to build a carriage home on the property. It's not that we're building a huge house or anything like that. The small house that's on the property is perfectly good, which is under renovation right at the moment. So it will face the front of the property, and the proposed new home, which is a carriage home, so it's like it's a rancher with a garage. So we'll have extra parking in the back because it's quite a large lot. We'll face the alley. So it's quite a large alley, which is clear and open. So yeah, it works well. I think it's good for the neighborhood. We currently have a 3-plex next door, so it fits in with the neighborhood. Yeah. So both places will have a yard because one will face the front, one will face the back. Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Gill, have you seen the sketch of how that's going to all work?
Your worship, with the previous council report, there was a site plan that was attached indicating where that proposed dwelling would go. Yes, they would have lane access.
Yeah, so you've reviewed all the setbacks and everything, and there's no problems there?
Through your worship, yes, meets competency of the bottom.
Okay, there's, Councilor Erickson.
What about green space? Does it still have enough green space? Is there a 40%?
Your worship, through you, yes, it would meet the 45% site coverage with the addition of this secondary dwelling.
Okay. Now, we have a notice here from, not a notice, an email that I can read into the record. It came in from Mr. Ken Simpson. It was emailed October 1st. And I can read that in. We all have it in our package, but for public record, I should probably mention what it says here. It was emailed to Cindy Scoro in our office. It says, "Hi Cindy, as I stated on the phone to you, I don't want to see the zoning changed on 442 Hemlock. I bought my home here because it was single-family residential. There was one multi-rental residential, and it has been a problem for many years. This, I feel, will bring down the property values in the area, so I'm saying no to rezoning of 442 Hemlock Avenue, along with all my neighbors." Kenneth Simpson. Okay, so I don't hear from the other neighbors at this point, but maybe we have some here. So that is in the record, and we have that in our council file. Well, I guess,
Just a comment for myself. I personally lived in the house that's on this street at 442 Hemlock 6 years ago. This is a big lot, actually. I think it'll go very well in the neighborhood, having a carriage house at the back. I will support this when we push this forward, but I think it's a big lot. It's good for that side of the community. Yeah, I think it'll be good.
okay, now we have a good number of folks here in attendance, so if anyone would like to say something, they'd certainly be welcome to do so. Safe place to say your piece, so we welcome your comments.
You're looking at me.
No, I'm just, no, I'm not picking anyone out. Now's a good time to say your piece, because after the public hearing is concluded, there's no further opportunity for public input, so just wanted to make sure everyone's on the same page here. Okay, additional comments from council? Okay, I guess this public hearing is concluded. We have a council meeting at 7. Oh, one more. What am I doing here? I'm a little bit too ahead of the game here. Okay. So the next one is to rezone a portion of the property at 63870 Flood Hope Road. And that is from local commercial C1 to highway commercial C2 in order to construct a mini storage facility on that portion of the property. And Mr. Gill, if you could speak to that.
Your worship, through you, basically the proponent would like to expand the mini storage facility. However, the encumbrance is the zoning towards the north. The C1 zone does not particularly permit mini storage, and therefore the zone would have to change. So the overall property would then, if successful with this rezoning, would become highway commercial C2, which would permit that sort of proposal to take place.
Okay. So we have a email here from Mr. Brian Foster, which I believe everyone has, but I'll read into the record. And it says, "Hi Cindy, unfortunately we are unable to attend next week's public hearing. However, we would appreciate you forwarding this email to council for their deliberation at next week's public hearing final reading, in addition to acknowledgement of receipt of this email. Thank you." So it says here, Silver Hope Mini Storage is an exemplary residential integrated business that has been part of the Hope community since 1994. As Chamber of Commerce members since that time, Silver Hope Mini Storage has provided apartment rental, private storage rental, and RV parking. Silver Hope Mini Storage, Hope's first official, was for Hope's first official public storage facility. Since that time, public demand for personal storage continues to grow, as evidenced by 2 other storage companies who not only built but expanded, all of whom operate at capacity. Originally, The Silver Hope mini storage property was zoned C2. The developer had this changed to the current C1, C2 zoning. The current C1 designated portion of the Silver Hope mini storage property has had no structures and has served only to park RVs. This current C1 to C2 rezoning proposal asks council's consideration to enable Silver Hope mini storage to remove the RV parking component of the business and expand the mini storage operation, complementary to the existing building, photo provided, in order to help satisfy the community's growing needs. By returning the subject property from its current C2, C1 dual zoning designation back to the original C2 zoning that it held prior to 1994, we feel that this form of development activity will integrate the local neighborhood in the least obtrusive fashion, whereas other potential business services would experience an increased level of vehicular traffic and noise. So that was sent to us by Mr. Brian Foster, and it's officially in the record. Yes, Mr.
Is
Smith?
it, I believe the way I read it was, it's just for mini storage and things, not to have many more apartments above it, on that part of it?
Your worship, through you, even under the C1 zone would permit above units. So with the C2 zone, it's just basically, like I said, it's that mini storage use is what they want to retain. If apartments do go above,
Which is good.
which would probably fit in with C1 anyhow.
Okay.
For the current zone.
I'd like to answer that, so.
Are you the proponent, sir?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So there won't be any apartment
No.
buildings on
Okay.
it. No, it'll just be the.
Just the mini storage part of it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Would you like to add anything else, sir, to the?
Only thing I'd like to add is the storage business. It's a very different type of business. Right now, it's being used for RV storage. You see the RVs coming in and out. With the storage, it would be less traffic, you could say. It would provide jobs, construction, right, in the community. And there'd be a manager position that we'd be looking at to hiring, and that would be it. Yeah, it would be very simple. I would put it.
Okay. So any additional comments from the public here?
I think they actually need more storage in the town. I mean, the other ones are all expanding with their containers and stuff like that. So I think it's a needed thing.
If we can get your name and address,
Oh,
please, for the,
Doug Duncan,
and I guess address we have?
no, 21184 Mount View Crescent.
Additional comments from the public? Okay, I guess we will declare this public hearing concluded. Thank you very much.